What's up, everybody? My name is Robbie, and you are watching Geek Level Asian. Today we're going to talk about Shattered Grid, issue 27. But before I dive into it, I did want to mention that I have issue 27 and 26 in my Instagram highlights if you haven't read it already. So on the first page, we see the leader of the coinless. He's about to be interrogated by one of the highest-ranking sentries, the Red Sentry, only to reveal himself as Skull. Who'd have thought Skull made it up the ranks to become a double-agent Red Sentry in Drakkon's world? Which sounds like a strange amusement park. Next, we see our team of mighty Morphin Power Rangers having a conversation with Lauren, the Red Samurai Ranger, talking about what happened at the Shiba House, and that Drakkon sentries have the ability to demorph the Rangers. And I feel like since we've met Jen, she's been the bearer of bad news, she joins in on the conversation and lets everybody know, hey, Drakkon is attacking everybody. So now, since time is of the essence, Zordon sends out a distress call to all the Rangers warning them that Drakkon is coming and he has the ability to take their powers away. The first response that they receive is from Dr. K from the RPM universe, and she has developed a way to reverse the effects of the Dragon Cannons so that the Power Rangers can stay transformed. Right after this, they receive a communication from the coinless saying that they think that they have a way to defeat Drakkon. So that's when Jason puts on his leadership hat. He sends Trini, Zach, and Billy to go find the coinless. He and Lauren are going to go find Dr. K, and Jen and Kimberly are going to go round up the rest of the teams. So now this brings us over to Drakkon himself. He's sitting in his stone throne. He's playing with the red Zeo crystal that he recently stole, and he's having a conversation with Finster 5. This is very much a continuation of the humanization of Lord Drakkon himself that we saw in the previous issue, where he shares a hug with Finster 5 and says that he missed him. Drakkon is reflecting on his time that he's now spent with the Zeo team disguised as his younger self, the good Tommy Oliver, and we know that he had a meaningful conversation with Jason. This is very interesting because we're starting to see why Drakkon is the way he is and what motivates him. In his conversation with Finster 5, he mentions how the Zeo team too, quote-unquote, hold their Tommy on a pedestal, and Drakkon doesn't really understand why. And this is where Finster responds, perhaps it's love. And Drakkon's response to this is actually very upsetting. His response is, there's nothing to love about him. So this leads me to believe that at one time, Drakkon was going through a really big emo phase, but now that he's so angry, he's now in his screamo phase. And the page ends with him talking about the next power transfer. We know that he has the red Zeo crystal. So for the next 3 pages, the only things that I took away from them were that Jason and Lauren share a moment. I don't think it's a flirtatious moment. It's more of a kindred spirit moment. We're both leaders, we're both Red Rangers. That and the fact that Jason can call his Tyrannosaurus Zord wherever he is. And from a technical standpoint, the only reason why I think this is possible is because the timeline, since they're not chronological anymore and everything is existing on its own plane, that he can call the Zord no matter what reality, dimension, whatever you want to call it, wherever he is, he can call his Dinozord. Although, I thought it would have been funnier if he put his hand in the air, went to go call his Zord, and nothing happened. Because it would have been contextual to the conversation in which Jason and Lauren have while they're on their mission, that Lauren has been preparing to be a leader her whole life, and that Jason was kind of thrown into it. So to me, it would have been kind of funny to show some humility there. In the next scene, we see Zach, Billy, and Trini. They've made it to Drakkon's world successfully, and they're in this destroyed room that they realize is the juice bar. And this is when I realized, is Ernie dead? It's quite possible that Ernie's dead, I'm just saying. This is where they end up rendezvousing with the coinless, and Billy from our world and Trini from Drakkon's world share a nice hug. And the reason why this is nice is because in the show, Billy and Trini definitely had a special friendship. In the beginning, in the first season, Trini is his translator because he always speaks in nerdisms, so they transferred that to the storyline of the Boom Studios comic books, especially in Shattered Grid. Because to the Trini that exists in Drakkon's world, her Billy is dead. But the important part of this rendezvous, and the reason why Billy, Zach, and Trini ended up going to go meet the coinless, is because the coinless believe that Ninjor is the key to destroying Drakkon. Which makes sense, because Ninjor is the reason why he's able to steal everyone else's powers. Maybe Ninjor is also the key to take those away. So now coming back to Lauren and Jason's mission, we see the RPM team. They're fighting off Drakkon's new samurai forces. But luckily, the Tyrannosaurus Zord shows up right in time. Lauren and Jason take out most of the sentries, resulting in Drakkon's forces pulling back. Jason and Lauren hop out of the Zord. They meet the RPM team. They find Dr. K. But right as they're about to leave, we see the last page of the issue. Lord Drakkon is now arriving on the scene. The Zeo power transfer seems to have been completed. He's teamed up with Korag, the Psycho Rangers, and now he has Power Rangers and Space Sentries. So a few takeaways. I'll be the first to say that this was not the most action-packed issue ever, but I do believe that it's one of the better issues. This issue and the last one had a lot of character development. When Lord Drakkon was originally introduced, we thought that he was going to be the evil Tommy that we saw in the original television show that just had no remorse and was under Rita's spell. But that is not who Lord Drakkon is. he does have some relatable qualities, and those are starting to surface in the past 2 issues. First, we see that Lord Drakkon does value friendship. That was not something that evil Tommy Oliver, that was under Rita's spell, valued at all. So there is someone in Lord Drakkon's life, Finster 5 of all beings, there is someone that he does value. He values that relationship. And now, like I said earlier, we're starting to see maybe why he is the way he is. Drakkon believes that when he was Tommy Oliver, there was nothing about him that was special. There was nothing about him to love. Which is probably why that when he was defeated by the Rangers in his own timeline, he was so self-conscious about himself that he retreated. He did not want their friendship because he didn't believe that it was real. But in his efforts now to infiltrate different teams and different timelines, he's realizing that everyone really did genuinely love him. And if there were any seeds of doubt to ever be planted within him, I think that's happening now. Which is starting to make me think that the ending of Shattered Grid is going to end very differently than I originally thought. And I'll talk about that in another video. So to all of you Power Rangers fans out there, thank you so much again for joining me in this review of Shattered Grid issue 27. And don't forget, I did include issue 27 on my Instagram highlights, so you can go read the entire issue right on there. If you like these comic reviews and you want to see more of them, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. You could also follow me on Instagram, on Facebook, on Snapchat, on Twitter. Everything is at Geek Level Asian. If you've made it to this point in the video and you're not following or subscribing to me on any of these things, what have you been doing? You could have been out like eating tacos or something. So don't forget to check back in when I review Shattered Grid issue 28. It's been fun, like it always is. May the power protect you.